Welcome to the City of Long Beach's fiscal year 18 budget presentation. Thank you all for being here. Please welcome Mayor Robert Garcia.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to thank everyone for being here. This is our budget, of course, for 2018, and we're, as we are every year, just excited to present the community and, of course, most importantly, present to the City Council a balanced and responsible budget that I think really does all the things that we are committed to do, which is ensure that the community is safe, to ensure that we're funding infrastructure, and that we have the programs in place that are important to the City of Long Beach. And so I want to just start off by giving some overview and highlights, and then I'm going to turn this over to Mr. West, who is going to kind of walk us through some of the details of the budget. And then after that, we're going to answer any questions that anyone has about any topic about the budget. And so we'll kind of we'll go from there. The first thing I want to do, of course, is thank staff. They've worked very, very hard on this. We work on the budget all year. And so this is really a culmination of all the work. So some highlights first to start off with the budget. Of course, the budget, like every year, is balanced, and it is a fiscally responsible document. We believe it's fiscally prudent. It's a budget that does not overspend, but ensures that we continue to pay down our pension liabilities, and that we continue to ensure that we're responsible when it comes to where we want to spend all of our dollars and our monies. Again, I also want to think it's important to note that this year we're also seeing revenues that are coming into the city at a new level, which is pretty exciting as well. So there are some significant infrastructure investments that are happening within this budget. Every neighborhood of Long Beach is getting investments in the budget. There's more than 50 miles of streets and sidewalks that are a part of this budget, including 34 parks, funding for 10 libraries, and 21 other facilities across the city of Long Beach. Like I've said before, which is really important, is that this budget actually has more funding for public safety and for infrastructure than any budget in the last 2 decades. And so we are, because of support from the voters, investing more in our street and infrastructure network than we have in a generation, and we're actually hiring police and firefighters in numbers that we haven't seen in over a decade as well. And so we're growing our police and firefighter force, and we're also, of course, investing in this large infrastructure program, which touches our parks and libraries and so many other facilities. So the map that's right here next to me is actually a pretty exciting map, because this is our new infrastructure map. And let me actually move it here. You can see it there. So what you see here on this map is this is an unprecedented amount of spending when it comes to public infrastructure. So we have on this map combined all of our Measure A voter-approved streets, projects, along with funding that we're going to be receiving from the state because of other laws and other county measures that have passed. And so this is our master infrastructure map, and this plan allows us to completely begin to rebuild our city over the next few years and address all of our major arterials, our worst streets. And what's exciting about this year's budget is, thanks to our public works team, we are now using a more data-driven model approach to fixing our streets. And we've authorized an assessment of our entire street and grid network. So all of these streets that you see here that have been selected through software that essentially we mapped every street in the city, and we ranked them all by the condition of the street. And so while we've always done, I think, a good job of trying to address street work, what we're doing today is a data-driven, smart approach to ensuring that we're fixing the streets we need to fix to make the investments appropriately. So this is a huge change for the city, and it's thanks to our public works team and the city for putting this. So this map is going to guide our infrastructure work for the next few years, and it's an updated map which is included in this year's budget. I also want to just chat a little bit about public safety. As we probably are all aware, there are some significant increases in public safety per the voters of the city of Long Beach. So the voters of the city of Long Beach chose and made the decision to invest in their community and fund additional police and fire officers. So in this year's budget, you're going to see 37 new positions in both police and fire. This includes, of course, some of the adjustments we've already made, including Engine 8 in Belmont Shore, including Rescue 12, the paramedic unit in North Long Beach, but it also includes additional funds that we've been talking about as well. For example, we are today in South Division. This is the new South Division that we've reconstructed back in place thanks to our police department, and so South Division is now out of this police headquarters area. And we've also added police officers to our new police academy unit to ensure that we're not pulling cops off the street but have a dedicated force. And on the fire side, we're also, of course, continuing to increase our fire capabilities to ensure that we're doing what we need to do with Rescue 12 and others across the city. But in addition to that, we have added an additional 28 net police positions because of our Metro contract. And so we worked very hard to ensure that we would add policing through Metro. And so now for the first time, instead of us not being able to patrol our own blue line, our police officers are able to patrol the blue line. This has added an additional 28 net police positions to us. So we are talking about, we've increased over 50 public safety personnel positions this year. This is just within the last of a year. We've added over 50 net firefighters and police officers to the city of Long Beach to ensure that we are addressing safety. I also want to just briefly mention our investments in clean teams. So it's been important to me and the city council that we invest in clean teams. We have a Clean Long Beach initiative, which we're just about to launch off. And we believe that every single neighborhood in the city deserves to have a clean street for the community that is free of blight and free of trash. And so just in last year's budget, we had added 2 clean teams. We are actually adding more clean teams, so there'll be 4 clean teams. We're doubling our capacity when it comes to our teams out in the community. We have in this budget 7 dedicated clean team vehicles to go out in the community doing proactive removal of blight across the city of Long Beach. And so I expect over the next few years, you're going to begin to see even a better increase in cleanliness across the city. This is something personally very important to me, and I know the city manager as well. And so that's another investment that I wanted to just highlight that's in the budget. Let me also just highlight some investments in technology. We are going to be transitioning in this budget. We've been working on this for a couple years to a single phone number for all city services. And so right now, if you have a brochure of the cities, there's probably like 15 or 20 numbers you can right now call and try to figure out who you have to call. Part of this budget is going to create a single phone number that will then direct residents to the appropriate department that they need to get to, which will be a lot easier for constituents. And we've also upgraded our 911 identification system, enhanced our data portal, and trying to transition our city to a real 21st century city. We know there are additional needs for technology, and those are highlighted in the budget. And I'll just add, before I close, there's a lot in this budget which the city manager will go through. We're continuing park programs in our parks that are most in need. We're expanding a lot of services and ensuring that we're being responsible to our communities. But I wanted to highlight just 3 things that have been important in the community that I've heard a lot from, so that they're, just to reiterate. The first is we do have additional staffing and support for our animal care services efforts that it's in this budget. There's currently an audit happening by the city attorney, which we're very supportive of, that we asked for actually, and we think there are great things happening in animal care. We love animal care, and we hope that some of the support in this budget will assist that, and then hopefully more support when the audit's complete. We're also obviously maintaining our Sunday library hour, so that will continue for the community. And as a big supporter of the Long Beach Municipal Band, this budget, like last year, fully funds the full 6 weeks of the Long Beach Municipal Band, and I hope that's something the council will support again this year. And so, again, we're proud of the budget. We're looking forward to answering questions. And last, I'll just say that I want to just thank the city council, who I know will get this document today, and their hard work that will happen over the next few weeks as they adopt the budget over the course of the next few weeks. So thank you. Mr. West.
Mayor. Hi, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. It's interesting to be in this room. I look at the command staff. And normally it's the command staff standing up here and we're in the audience, and this is the place the command staff is never allowed to sit, so they're always along the wall or up here, so that's interesting. So anyhow, thank you, Mayor. I'm going to get a little bit more in the weeds on the fiscal year 18 budget that you're going to be seeing in a moment. This is a $2.6 billion budget, so we're going to focus a lot on the general fund, but again, the budget that you're seeing is $2.6 billion. So, going the wrong way. So we're on a roll as a city. Long Beach is an exciting place to live and to work. We're building a $525 million civic center project that you can just see right next door that's coming up out of the ground right now. We're not only building one world-class library, we're in the process of building two world-class libraries in the past 2 years. We've got Michelle Obama Library, which just recently opened this year, and we're in the middle of building a brand new world-class library. Pretty fantastic stuff. We're also constructing through the port a new $1.5 billion Gerald Desmond Bridge. This is to keep up with foreign trade and all the changes happening throughout the world in bringing goods and services to the United States and to the Pacific South Rim. You're seeing, as you drive through our city, approximately $2.5 billion in private investment throughout the city, whether it's an old redevelopment agency property, whether it's out there at Douglas Park, or whether it's just scattered happening throughout the city. So as I said, we're on a roll. We continue to be the most walkable city on the West Coast. We're always recognized as one of the top 10 most bicycle-friendly cities in the United States. We continue to be, for year after year, one of the top 10 digital cities. We're also a leader in climate change and climate study. We have an award-winning Long Beach College Promise program. Thank goodness we have our own Long Beach Unified School District, our Long Beach Community College, and also California State University at Long Beach that work together tremendously to help our youngsters pursue college education. And finally, we have the lowest unemployment rate that we've had in 25 years. That's pretty fantastic. I want to focus a little bit on all of the many innovations and efficiencies that we've accomplished during the past year. We've implemented Data Long Beach, electronic plan check, I better turn on that, BizPort, Inspector Gadget, CityWork, which is field iPads, and iTeam Data Mart, which is data sharing. We're nearly complete with our automated meter reading implementation. So now our gas and water folk can read things from their cars. They don't have to get out and go and touch the meters and go in people's backyards. We're in the middle of our LED streetlight conversion to make brighter streetlights throughout our city. This is the largest LED conversion happening in America today. We're also almost completing our street sweeping optimization that we started last year. This is to ensure that none of our residents ever have to get out of their house at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning to move their car to avoid getting a ticket. We continue to use data to drive and our investment. We're using data now for our streets through our pavement management plan, for our alleys with the alley management plan, for our sidewalks with the street master plan, sidewalk master plan, and also our facilities and our buildings with the facility condition assessment. Other mobility efficiencies include our Eco Totem facility. This is a Eco Totem pole, basically. It's on our bike and pedestrian path just by the Long Beach Pier on the beach. And where's our director, Craig Beck, our public works director, is promising that we'll get 100 million people, 1 million, sorry, Craig. We'll get 1 million people going by that totem by the year's end. So we're crossing our fingers for that. We also have Easy Commute Long Beach and Easy Park Long Beach. We've opened a CNG fueling station and continue to invest in sustainable fleets. Our Long Beach Coast program continues to modernize our city's HR, finance, and budget system. This is basically our ERP system. It's an enterprise resource planning tool. It's probably the largest technological investment that we've had in the city's history, and it's going to change the way we do finance and HR throughout our city. Of course, we continue to enhance our highest priority, which is public safety. This is primarily through our Measure A funds. Measure A is restoring everything that we lost through the Great Recession. We continue to restore and maintain our South Police Division, our Police Academy operations, Fire Engine 8, and Paramedic Rescue 12. Measure A is also going to preserve our existing police and fire services. We're going to have our Neighborhood Safe Streets initiative in police. Also, this is going to support our 4th back-to-back police academy. This is fantastic, as we went through probably about a 3 to 4 year period during the recession without a police or fire academy. So we're building that back up as fast as we can. Also, this is going to include safety camera networks and modernization and expansion throughout our city to focus on our Long Beach Cops program and things like that. Other funds are going to enhance us as well in public safety. We now, as the mayor pointed out, are taking over the blue line at all the stations in the city of Long Beach. So we're going to have Metro Blue Line enforcement. That's going to add 28 police officers, and that's why we need those academies as fast as we can. We're also providing structural funding of our HEART team and also 2 fire positions to conduct marijuana inspections. There's also a significant investment in public infrastructure. Through Measure A, as the mayor pointed out, there's $26.3 million happening, and that's going to supplement about $70 million in other capital improvement programs. And these are going to focus on basically 5 areas. It's focusing on mobility, public facilities, parks and recreation, beaches and waterways, and also utilities. This budget also preserves all of our city council and mayor priorities. You're going to see basically 70% of this budget, of this general fund budget, goes to police and to fire, and that's pretty much traditional over the last few years, and the rest goes to all the priorities that have been set by the city council, and you can see this all in the traditional pie chart. We're going to continue to promote street and mobility improvements. Basically, we're creating a brand new mobility bureau in Public Works. This mobility bureau is not only going to take care of pedestrians and bicyclists and things like that, but it also will condense and focus on streets and roads and sidewalks and things like that. So we're excited about that. We're adding 2 new positions in our mobility area. One is to manage our Long Beach Bike Share program, which continues to take off. And another is to support our mayor. Our mayor now is on the LA Metro Board. That is a fantastic resource for us, and we want to make sure that we take advantage of that as much as we can to get as many resources as we can to the city of Long Beach. And to do that, we're bringing on board a new person that will help our LA Metro initiatives and work with the mayor on that and totally understands the Metro budget so that we can get all the resources necessary for Long Beach. And also, we're not happy with how fast we are fixing our potholes, so we're going to be adding a brand new pothole crew to the Public Works Department this year. Homelessness continues to be one of the largest issues in any large city in America, and we're going to be addressing that. So in addition, or continue to address that, in addition to the $8 million that we get annually through the federal government and the state government for our continuum of care program, which continues to support all of our partners in dealing with homelessness, we're going to be adding $1.4 million of Measure MA, the marijuana tax, to fund homeless rapid response activities, and also work with our multi-service center. We're one of the few cities in California that has a multi-service center to deal with homelessness. We're also getting direct funding from LA County's Measure H for homelessness strategies, and we're bringing on board a Fuse Core Fellow to focus on innovative solutions for our homeless population. The mayor talked about supporting our clean team operations. We're going to try to take back our streets. I'm not talking about public safety. Our command staff, our police department does a fantastic job with property and violent crime throughout our city. I'm talking about keeping our city clean. In a city that's 120 years old, 52 square miles, we've got 4 freeways with all the on-ramps, the off-ramps, the underpasses, we've got beaches, we have a homelessness issue. We want to take back our streets and make them as clean as possible. We've been doing that for the past year with 2 clean teams, but the city council, the mayor, the staff, we all want to do this. This initiative is being led primarily through the mayor, and how can we say no when it comes to just adding more clean teams out there to get our city as clean as possible? And that's something that we all have a passion for this, the staff, the council, and especially our mayor. We're also going to be doing a refuse rate restructuring. This is part of a multi-year strategy to address our refuse fund structural deficit, so we need to deal with that. We're also focused on economic and neighborhood development. We just recently added our economic development department back to the city, and we're already going to be restructuring that. We're going to be adding 2 positions. One is to oversee the Queen Mary and Urban Commons and the developments it's having out there and working with Carnival Cruises as well. And also we want to add someone to help us deal and maintain our city-owned properties. Primarily these are the old redevelopment properties, now successor agency properties, and it ties into our Clean Cities initiative to make sure anything that we own as a vacant lot is as clean as possible. And there's no reason for any of our city property not to look beautiful. We're also adding a property management database and a permit center office to guarantee that there's a minimized time for permits, so nobody's waiting as long as they may have done in the past. This department is also going to be supporting all of the numerous studies that are happening out the city, primarily through our Development Services Department. We have some huge studies, because we're a huge city, to deal with our general plan updates and some of the other development happening through our city. We have a noise element happening, an open space element study, zoning code assessments, North Long Beach uptown plans, a short-term rental ordinance. So these are all things that economic development is going to work on with us. We also want to invest in arts and culture. You can't be a great city in America without investing or having a great arts program or a great culture program. We have that. We're a great city. We have great arts. We have great cultures, and we're going to add to that. We have great museums. We have great public art facilities throughout the city. We also have great performing arts happening throughout our city, and we're going to add to that this year. We're providing a new wayfinding signage program. That's one-time dollars for $1 million, and you'll see all of our signage throughout the city. The 52 square miles is going to change. You're going to see some fantastic new iconic Long Beach signs throughout all of our neighborhoods and as you enter our city off the freeways and things like that. We're going to continue to have 2 open streets events like we had in the past. We call ours Beach Streets. The last one we had was at Cal State University and attracted approximately 80,000 people. So we're planning on doing 2 more of those with one-time funds throughout the year. The Powwow program, this is the Hawaiian mural program that's come to Long Beach for 3 years in a row. They've been rapidly changing the face of our corridors with these wonderful murals by these world-class artists. We want to guarantee that we have a 4th year experiencing Powwow. So we're putting some money in the budget to guarantee they come back next year and take care of some of the other blanket walls that we have throughout the city. So that's a fantastic program. We're going to upgrade the amount of money that we support our Convention and Visitors Bureau. They do a fantastic job in supporting our city and our economy, and we want to guarantee that keeps going. We're going to support our Arts Council once again with $50,000 with a 1-to-1 match and $50,000 ongoing. One thing that we have neglected in the past, we have a beautiful art museum with a beautiful art collection, and it's time that we work with our art director there and reappraise all of our art to guarantee that it's insured at its full value. So we're setting aside money to do that this year, and we'll continue to have media relations and marketing throughout the city to highlight our cultural and arts programs. We also want to support our city council priorities that they've set for us for the past few years. One is the language access plan. Another is our Be Safe programs after school and early evenings at all of our parks. That'll be continuing. We're going to maintain all of the Sunday library hours that have been restored through the past few years. We're also going to, as the mayor pointed out, guarantee that we have once again 6 weeks, a full 6-week program of our municipal band program. We're also, as the mayor pointed out, adding 2 new folk to our animal care services program so that we can do as great a job there as we can with our 4-legged friends. We're adding an Office of Aging position and also an Office of Equity grant-funded position. We're going to continue to invest in technology. We have a fiber communications expansion of about $400,000, and we continue to work on that. Our city's phone system is going to be upgraded. It's going to include 911 automatic location identifiers. And also, as the mayor pointed out, we're going to get a single telephone number for the city. It's something we've been working on for some time, and hopefully that will come to fruition this year. We're doing website upgrades and maintenance, and we're doing maintenance of our GeoHub open data sharing program. We also have a lot of other urgent technology upgrades. We're setting aside $750,000 for that because that's critically important for us. We're also going to invest in innovations and efficiency. I talked about all the exciting things that we did last year. We're looking forward to exciting things this year. We've restructured the I-Team. They're going to help our departments with high priority issues. We're bringing on board 3 Fuse fellows. One is to help our homelessness issues. Another is to deal with our hiring policies and efficiencies. And another is a strategic plan for senior services. We continue to work with our Civil Services Department to invest in improving the speed of filling critical city positions. I can't say enough about the Executive Director and the Civil Service Commission working together with HR and all of our department heads to change the way that we recruit, and that's going to be much quicker and fill positions much faster, so I can't say enough about civil service. We continue with youth and adult sports tournaments as pilot programs to deal with our youth. And there will be new online public records management systems that will be able to respond to public records requests as fast as possible. That's something that's important to us as well. That said, we continue to have significant unfunded priorities, and I want to highlight those. So we'd be recommending as a staff that the things that I'm going to talk about in a moment, would be the first things to receive new monies when we have new monies or one-time monies that come down the pike. We continue to be not watering our parks and medians enough. We're funded, according to our Parks and Recreation Director and Marine Director, $1.2 million short in that. So we continue to need more water to water our parks to enhance that budget. We had a huge storm this year. We all remember that. We have approximately $5 million in maintenance and deferred maintenance that was damaged through the storm, and we need to deal with these critical facilities throughout our community centers, throughout the city, and that's something that we're trying to do, but we certainly need more money to do that. We continue to have storm water protection projection requirements. We need upgrades there of about $10 million so that when we do have the storms that we experienced this past year, the city can defend itself a lot better. Park tree and grass median removal and replacements, we're lagging behind on that. We need about $500,000 annually. And we continue to have a backlog of maintenance, capital improvement, and technology projects. We continue to talk about technology. In October, we're going to be bringing forward an initiative to discuss with the City Council that hopefully will deal with a lot of our unfunded technology initiatives as we go forward. So the fiscal outlook. We're doing okay this year, fiscal year 17. We're doing okay next year in fiscal year 18, the budget you're going to see. But that red that you're looking at doesn't look so good. We're not seeing the red for the first time. When we did our 3-year outlook back in March with the City Council, those red numbers were there as well. They're a little larger right now because of some pension issues and things. But I do want to say, without the voters approving the mayor and the council's Measure A, I can't tell you the dire straits that we'd be in. We'd be in red in the year we're in right now, when we'd also be in red in fiscal year 18, the budget that we're presenting. So Measure A has been fantastic for us, and we do have some looming needs in 19 and 20 that we're going to look at. Measure A has been essential to maintain our public safety and substantially improve this outlook. I want to say that beginning this entire year, we're going to be working hard, working with the council and our commissions and our department heads to look at what we can do in fiscal year 19 and fiscal year 20 to minimize those numbers, to get them down. We've done this before. We faced much larger numbers in the past through the recession. We've got a team that's experienced with this, a council that's experienced with this, and we'll be working on this with next year. So hopefully we'll have some new efficiencies that can deal with those numbers next year. We also have some balancing actions and risks. Let's talk about 17. Our 17 revenues are not coming in as projected. This is just something that just popped up the last few months. What we're finding is that during the recession, there are many appeals to the Board of Equalization for their property tax assessments. Many of those appeals have been successful, and they're hitting us just now in the last month or so. So we're seeing less property tax in the city. Property tax is about 22% of our general fund revenue, so we're dealing with that. We think we're going to be okay, but it's potential that we may have to dip into our operating reserve at the year end if indeed there's an issue. We don't think there will be, but we do want to highlight that. And again, that's what an operating reserve is for. But the property tax appeals are something that hit us the last couple months that we're dealing with. Let's look at fiscal year 18, the budget that you're looking at today. It's balanced through several actions. We're taking a less conservative revenue budgeting approach right now. We're basically right-sizing the budget. There would potentially be less one-times available. We're taking a less conservative insurance funding position. Also, we're recognizing savings from the natural turnover of positions, so that could result in less one-time dollars available as well as they go into operations. We have a CalPERS stabilization fund, which is non-functional now because of some of the policies that CalPERS has adopted the past year, and we'll be using those for critical one-time needs. And we're shifting expenses into other eligible funding sources. So considerations for the future. There's various factors that are going to impact our city's future budget situation and are going to be monitored to take into account as appropriate, including expenditure growth. Expenditures, again, as I said, are exceeding our revenue growth. Also, the low price of oil and the extraordinary pension cost increases and future employee bargaining agreements are things that we need to consider in the future. Litigation continues to remain a significant challenge. The general funds received from gas, water, and sewer operations are at risk, but that's not included in the current operations. We have unfunded needs in technology and other infrastructure needs. We have new initiatives that we want to support. We have occupancy of a new civic center and associated development that will be happening shortly. There's federal and state actions that we need to respond to that you never know what's going to come down the pike through the federal and state government that impacts us as a local government. We have the impact of Measure A and Measure MA. Those are very positive things for our community. And the impact of continued economic development. I said we have $2.5 billion of economic development on the private sector happening right now. And when that all hits the streets, that's certainly going to be a very positive economic thing for us as we go forward. So strategies for the future. We want to deal with the looming deficits that we're going to, the shortfalls that we're looking at in 19 and 20. So that's a strategy for the future. We're going to focus on the strong economic development that I just talked about. We're going to continue strong financial management by structurally balancing the budget and placing 5% one-time revenues in unfunded liability reserves. We're going to develop short-term and long-term plans to address the city's operational, infrastructure, and other one-time needs as a priority in fiscal year 18. We're going to ensure that reserves are funded within the city council approved policy levels. In fact, the Budget Oversight Committee just reviewed all of those financial policies just last week, and we'll continue to look at those. And we want to continue to focus on innovations, exploring cost reductions, and ways to maximize existing new revenues. So again, as I summarize, here's the highlights of our fiscal year 18 budget. Recognize that it is balanced, structurally balanced. It invests in public safety and infrastructure, as does Measure A, and that's the priority of the mayor and the city council. It focuses on mobility, homelessness, clean city services, economic development, arts and culture, and technology and innovation. So as I look at the fiscal year budget timeline for 18, through today, on March 14th, we had a fiscal outlook to the city council. That was at a public meeting. March 15th, we began our instructions to all of the department heads and the department staff that are here today to put together the budget and how it was going to be put together. On July 3rd, according to the charter, the city manager's department submitted a proposed budget to the mayor. On July 25th, there was a study session on capital improvement plan done by our public works director, and also the budget oversight committee reviewed with our finance team our financial policies and things as we go forward. July 31st, today, the mayor is submitting a proposed budget to the city council, his proposed budget that backs up on the city manager's budget. Upcoming throughout the entire month of August, you're going to see community budget meetings primarily in all 9 of our council districts. So that's an opportunity for everyone to get involved in the community meetings. You don't have to go to your own district. You can go to any one of these community meetings, and they'll be published. In August and September, we're going to have numerous budget oversight committee meetings. These are an oversight committee of 3 members of the city council who will meet regularly with our finance team and budget team to go through the weeds in the budget and make recommendations to the city council. The public is invited to go to any one of those meetings and also to watch that on the internet. August 8th will be our first budget hearing. August 15th will be a budget hearing at the city council, followed on August 22nd. There will also be a budget hearing on September 5th. That'll be the first opportunity for the council to adopt the budget, and if not, there'll be another opportunity on September 12th for the community to look at the budget and for the council to review it. There's a lot of opportunity for community engagement, and I want to go over that for a moment. Of course, you can attend the budget hearings. You can attend community budget meetings. You can attend the budget oversight committee meetings at city council or watch them on the internet. You can participate in City of Long Beach surveys on funding priorities, and we have those in the budget booklet that we'll be handing out. You can also use Open Long Beach to explore the proposed budget visibility. And I want to show some of the documents, Grace from the budget team. If you can highlight the actual budget, the thick one, just hold it in there. There you go. Thank you, Leah. We have the community budget, the small community booklet that's available now, so that minimizes it, takes all that 2-inch thick budget and summarizes it there. There's also an address from the mayor in that booklet as well. And in that booklet, thank you, Leah. And in that booklet as well, you'll see all the opportunity for community engagement that I've been talking about. So as I conclude, I do want to highlight the fantastic work of our city team, our department heads, but primarily our budget team. We have our finance director here, John Gross, the assistant finance director, and our budget leader, Leah Erickson, and also the budget leader, Grace Yoon, and also working with us is our assistant city manager, Tom Modica.